afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the City of Newport News Planning Commission of June 21st, 2023 to order. Melissa, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Maxwell?
Here.
Commissioner Shook?
Here.
Commissioner Williams?
Here.
Commissioner Taylor?
Here.
Commissioner Bowditch?
Here.
Commissioner Stodgel?
Here.
Commissioner Grabowski?
Here.
Commissioner Fox?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. And now I'm going to ask if Commissioner Bowditch will say our invocation.
Thank you. You do the creed first.
That threw me with that purpose.
No purpose. You do the purpose.
Would you do the invocation, though, and then we'll
Yes,
do the
ma'am.
purpose, since we already started.
Mr. Williams, stay at it.
Lord, thank you for bringing us together today. Thank you for those that are before the Planning Commission. Thank you for the commissioners to my left and to my right. And thank you for city staff and supporters that make this process possible. We appreciate the efforts of those that have worked diligently to bring matters before us. We ask for your guidance in making decisions on their behalf, their business's success, and their land use success. And we thank you for all your support. Thank you in your name. Amen.
Thank you. And now I would like to ask Commissioner Shook if he would please read the purpose of the Planning Commission.
The Newport News Planning Commission is mandated by state law, and its members are appointed by City Council. Section 15.2, TAC 2210 of the Code of Virginia states, in part, that every locality shall create a planning commission in order to promote the orderly development of the locality and its environment. The statutory purpose is to improve the public health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the citizens, and to plan the future development of the communities. In serving the statutory purpose, the Commission invites the comments at the public hearing of its interested citizens of matters before it and welcomes your presence. Madam Chairwoman, I move that we adopt the agenda before us.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Would you please now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Commissioner Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and we are now going to move into our meeting. Our minutes have been included in our package, and I hope everyone had a chance to go through those. If there are no corrections or additions, then the minutes are going to stand as presented. And now we're going to move into our public meeting. And we're going to start out with a special exception, and that's going to be presented today by Celeste Lodiong. Welcome, Celeste.
Thank you. I'm happy to be for you this afternoon. And I think all right, I'm ready to go. So, the application for SE 2023-005 is a request to construct a single-family detached dwelling on a non-conforming lot of record with less than 50 feet of frontage. Kevin Mercer is the co-owner and he's the co-applicant. He's with R. Cotter Contractors, LLC, and Kevin is here with us today. As I mentioned, the property is on 1026 26th Street, and the lot is 0.09 acres with 37.5 feet of frontage. You can see here on the aerial map, it is on, the property is on 26th Street. It's east of Orcutt Avenue. It's west of Roanoke Avenue, and it is surrounded by single-family homes. Has been zoned R4 since the citywide rezoning of 1997. So I'm going to look over the regulatory requirements for the special exception. First, let's talk about the proposal again. It's to improve the 37.5 feet of non-conforming lot by demolishing the current deteriorated home and building a 2-story single-family home with an attached garage. And the property is within the Neighborhood Overlay Conservation District. Part of the ordinance, that pertains to this is Section 253204E2, and it states, "The Board of Zoning Appeals may grant a special exception to improve a nonconforming lot of record having less than 50 feet of frontage with a single-family detached dwelling, provided that the following conditions are met." So number one is the single-family dwelling will be 2 stories or of similar design to abutting structures. The proposed dwelling will be a 2-story single-family dwelling, and it will have a covered front porch similar to abutting structures. Second, the front yard setback will be the average of the setbacks of existing buildings on the block, but it can't be less than 10 feet. And the setbacks for the proposed building will be at 10 feet to the covered front porch. All right. Third, the minimum side yard setback will be 5 feet, and the proposed side yard setback for the building is 5 foot. Okay, and then fourth, an attached or detached garage shall be provided. However, if the garage is attached, it will be attached on the side of the dwelling and recessed 18 feet from the front of the dwelling or attached in the rear of the dwelling. And the proposal for this dwelling is an attached 1-car garage. It will be recessed 18 feet from the front of the dwelling, and this meets the requirement. All right, and then finally, the proposed dwelling is in harmony with the appearance of surrounding properties, and it doesn't create a harmful effect to the neighborhood. The proposed single-family dwelling will use prevailing architectural materials similar to the surrounding homes. It will have a covered front porch, siding, and rectangular windows, and an A-frame roof line that faces the street. Several of the surrounding homes also have curb cuts and driveways as well. So as such, the proposed dwelling is in harmony with the neighborhood. So in conclusion, the proposed request to construct a 2-story single-family dwelling on a non-conforming 37.5-foot lot meets all applicable criteria stipulated in the zoning ordinance. So we recommend that Planning Commission recommends approval of special exception SE0005 for the construction of a single-family detached dwelling on a non-conforming lot of record having less than 50 feet of frontage, with the following conditions. First, the applicant shall submit building elevations and exterior building materials to be reviewed and approved by the Director of Planning. Second, the base of the structure will have a brick facade, and the front steps will be of brick material. Third, there will be a door from the garage to the exterior of the structure. Next, there will be a sidewalk from the front steps directly to the sidewalk within the city right-of-way. All mechanical equipment must be located at the rear of the structure, and then all other standard conditions will be met. Are there any questions?
Okay, go ahead.
I apologize because I'm not going to attempt to mess your name up. But real quickly, I think when you read this regulation and you cited section, did you say 25 and you meant 45?
Yes, it's 45, 3-2.
Correct. All through the paperwork is 45. I just want to make sure I didn't hear that
Thanks for
correctly.
the
Since
correction.
it's being recorded.
Yes, thank you.
On the block in question, is there other properties on the lot that are less than 50 feet of frontage?
I believe there are, but
Yeah, there's quite a few of them.
Multiple, right?
You can see them in the photo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
want to, okay.
any other questions?
I have a question. This is probably in response to this email. And you won't know this off the top of your head, but maybe over the last couple of years, how many of these have we reviewed? The non-conforming lot?
Well, I would say just in this year, we've done at least 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that?
Anything else?
But I think we've passed all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is a two-story, which we have multiple on the same street, so
Yep.
looks like it's in keeping with the character. Other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing. I have a card from the applicant, Karen Mercer.
Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome. Please state your name and address.
My name is Kevin Mercer. My address is 4820 Cliffany Drive in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And again, good afternoon. I want to thank Celeste for that great presentation. She pretty much covered virtually any and everything that I can come up with. I wanted to know if you guys had any questions for me.
Commissioner Williams, yeah.
There's an existing house on the lot, correct?
Right.
What's the plan of having that house removed properly? What effect are you going to see for that, for the neighbors and the demolition of that house? And what in your opinion, what you will put up will help to continue to beautify that block in the neighborhood?
Absolutely. The demolition process is going to be relatively straightforward. I've had my contractor already take a look at it. It's nothing abnormal from any other demo that we've done before. And as far as like beautifying the area, there are currently other new construction homes on the block. And if you can look at my front and one of the elevations, I'm not sure if you have them with you now, it pretty much gives the detail of the exterior of the home. And I think it would fit, right, in my opinion, it would fit, perfectly within that street, 26th Street.
And how long do you think the demolition would take if you were approved, from the time you are approved till it's knocked down and everything cleaned off?
Right, within a 3-day process.
3-day process?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not gonna leave stuff in front, just
Absolutely not.
hanging out, okay?
Absolutely
You're gonna
not.
clean up everything?
Everything.
All right.
Everything.
Okay, go ahead.
I think there's a large tree in the backyard. When I drove by, I couldn't tell if it was on the property line, or is that large tree on your property?
No, it's actually from the home behind mine. And
Okay,
I'm
so it's on
actually-
their property?
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
hard- I couldn't tell where the property line was, so
Right.
you don't have any trees on your property?
I don't, but I'm gonna clear those branches up, the ones that are coming
Yeah.
on my
Okay.
side.
It was hard to tell where the property line was.
Yeah.
And the other front, I got a quick question. The front elevation that we have in front of us is as in an attached garage. So you will have an attached garage set back, right?
Absolutely. It's set back 18 feet, if I'm not mistaken.
From the front of the house?
Right.
I think, yes, I heard. Okay.
Other questions, commissioners? Okay, thank you very much. Close the public hearing.
You don't have a card.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do have a card. I have a card from Diane Cannon Logan. Would you please come forward?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Diane
Would
Cannon
you please,
Logan.
yes, state your name and address.
I live at 1020 26th Street, Newport News, Virginia, 23607.
Do you need us to lower the
Oh,
microphone?
okay, I'm sure. Can you hear me now?
You're fine.
Okay. The reason I'm here to oppose the proposal is that the lot is not a 50-foot lot. The demolition has already been done, and it took longer than 3 days. Today was the last day of it. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous, but I had called zoning and planning and asked what was the purpose of the ordinance to not have homes built on lots less than 50 feet. I talked to Flora.
Is the question, why is the exception in the ordinance?
Yes.
But
Why
they-
is, what was the purpose of the ordinance?
The purpose of the ordinance is that a lot of the property in the southeast community is all 25 feet wide lots. And there are sections in the ordinance that say that you have to have two lots of, two 25-foot wide lots are a lot of record. However, it would be considered a taking if there wasn't an option to be able to build on a lot that's less than 50 feet.
Okay. So I don't understand why the exception is given. I don't understand why so many exceptions are given. You said 4 so many this year? Is that the total for this year in East End?
For this year, yeah.
Okay. The ordinance was set in place for a reason. And when you allow construction companies to come in and do what they want to do because they do not meet the criteria, you've set the precedence for anyone who wants to build on any lot that's less than 50 feet to argue the point. So, in closing, in the 90s, across the street, there was a fire. One house caught on fire, but 3 houses were damaged, and people were misplaced because they lost their homes. And it was a 25-foot lot, and I'm not saying the house is going to catch on fire or anything like that, but I believe that one of the reasons for the ordinance was safety. Was it not? So building on a lot that's less than 50 feet, and this one is 37 and a half, which the frontage of the house will be 27, is 5 feet on each side of the house, right?
Correct.
So if that house were to catch on fire, it would burn or damage the surrounding properties. Thank you for your time.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I understand your concern about the houses being too close to each other. That's what it sounds like where you're getting to.
Yes.
Let me also ask you the question, the existing house that was there, because you said it was knocked down now. Mm-hmm. It was still that close together, correct?
It was so close until, if you were standing in front of the property, the owner of the property could not go down the side of it, even if they turned sideways.
Okay.
It was butted that close to the property.
The new home, though, will actually have more space and less space than what used to be there. Am I correct?
That's correct.
5 feet, yeah.
It'll be 10 feet apart, not 5?
5 on
Next
each
door neighbor,
side.
5 on each side. So the next door neighbor has 5, the next door neighbor has 5. 10 feet apart.
And that's not a safety hazard.
5 is the minimum building code.
Okay.
If you go closer than 5 feet, then you'd have to put up a building wall, a fire wall.
Right.
A fire-rated wall on each side.
Has the fire department looked at this,
Yes.
and they said it was safe, and they had no problem with
The
it?
setbacks are standard. 5 feet is
Okay.
as close as you can get to the property line.
Okay.
It allows you to be able to access your rear yard, and it provides enough room around the house for the fire department to access around the house if there is a fire. The house that was there before had no setback.
Correct.
A lot of those homes along 26th Street are on 25-foot wide lots. A lot of the regulations that are in the ordinance were put in place to prevent that from happening. Even the regulations for the special exception, in order to meet many of those requirements, it would be difficult to do that on a lot less than 37 and a half feet.
Right, because my thing is, I bought houses over on 30th Street and 26th Street, and the ones that are there now are touching. So to me, he's remedying the problem with this particular house, the way that they're going to have it situated. Because I even had to buy the lot next door to make sure that my house did not encroach on that particular lot, because the problem already exists. It's not like he's creating a problem. The problem's already there. And to me, this is remedying that problem, because that house, if he didn't buy it, would have still been sitting in the same place. So that's just my 2 cents.
But one part of the remedy was also not to build on lots less than 50 feet.
The thing about it is, he's buying the house. If he didn't buy the house, then it would still be as close as it was. So would you rather him just left that house there where it'd be closer, or would you rather him buy it and make it where there's more room in between? Because
Well,
if nobody bought it in between, then it'd still be closer than it's going to be when he builds his new one.
Well, I didn't know that you could buy the property, but It could have been a community garden because of the size.
I get it, but I'm not gonna buy a house and put a garden there and not make my money.
I know, because
Yeah.
I know that a business would not.
I get you.
I think we're kind of running into speculation here, and, did you have a question?
No, I was gonna help define. Planning to discuss it would be a taking. If I owned that property and the building was condemned, I had to tear it down. I would not be allowed to build, if we had the 50-foot ordinance there at the time without any exceptions, I would not be able to build there, so the value of that property would drop considerably for me. And that's what the taking is. You're not allowing the people to have the proper, what was there as a right to build. You're taking that away from them.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any other cards, but I do have a letter. And the letter was received from Mikoa Logan on June 21st. And Mikoa Logan is writing to say that they are opposed to the special exception for this project. This will be put into the package, into the minutes of today's meeting. Now, we don't have any other letters or any other cards, so matters before the commission.
Okay. Madam Chair, I move that special exception number SE TAC 2023 TAC 005 be approved with conditions as recommended by staff.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion?
I just, I want to make one comment. I appreciate the resident coming and sharing her views, and I think it could be definitely an issue about the houses being built too close to one another. But I do believe in this situation there was already existing property there and housing there, so we're actually making the situation a little better. In my opinion, I agree with Commissioner Maxwell in the building of the new house, as well as continuing the beautification of the neighborhood. One thing I just do want to point out with the email of record, that I appreciate this person building and improving our neighborhood and taking the steps to invest in our city of Newport News. And this is not a situation of gentrification. This is about transformation and beautification, and I will always stand by that. And so, again, we hope and we believe that you are going to do the citizens of that neighborhood well, and in terms of safety, everything has been checked out by the city that will remain a safe place for each and every one of the residents, including those who live in the East End and the Southeast community, as myself. And so with that, I'm going to vote approval.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments, Mr. Williams.
I just have a very quick comment, Madam Chair. I just wanted to state the importance of exceptions being allowed within the city, because the city is a very, I don't want to say non-uniform, but it's not uniform. It's a very old city, so we have to be able to grant exceptions to things, because not every neighborhood is the same. But that being said, I don't live in that community, so I don't know the specifics. So I very much appreciate you coming forward and speaking on behalf, because a lot of times I have to just trust in the planning department to give me the best information, and despite the fact that they do an amazing job doing that, they don't also have that personal experience of living there. So I appreciate you coming forward, but I will be voting in favor.
Okay. Call the roll, please.
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Maxwell?
4.
Commissioner Shook?
4.
Commissioner Williams?
4.
Commissioner Taylor?
4.
Commissioner Bowditch?
4.
Commissioner Stodgel?
4.
Commissioner Grabowski?
4.
Commissioner Fox?
4, and I agree with both Commissioner Grabowski and Commissioner Williams. I mean, this appears to me to be a great infill project that will enhance the value of the houses on the street and in the neighborhood. So thank you very much.
Motion unanimous, 8-0.
I hadn't said for you, when you counted. Okay, now we're moving on to the executive secretary report.
Good afternoon. Last night, the Board of Zoning Appeals approved a car wash, Auto Car Wash at 10710 Work Boulevard. Expansion of a non-conforming use. And your meeting on July 5th is canceled based on your bylaws. So you all have a great vacation.
What about on the 19th?
You have a meeting.
Yep.
You have 2 car washes coming before you. One is at 15459 Warwick Boulevard, and the other is 12570 and 13260 Warwick Boulevard. They're both cool waves.
Well,
We have a rezoning? Oh, sorry. We have a car wash and a rezoning. Okay, we have a rezoning from C1 Retail Commercial to R5 Low Density Multiple Family for 7.9 acres, and that's at the 15459 Warwick Boulevard. And the 2 car washes are at 12570 and 13260 Warwick Boulevard. That's all we
great to
have.
hear. Good.
But yes, we will be having a meeting on July the 19th.
July. Okay. Committee reports.
Well, we don't have one from the Regulations Committee because our meeting was canceled today. Postponed. I don't think I could finish that one. We didn't have a quorum. Thank you very much, brother. Sure.
We're all helping each other today.
Okay.
I guess I'm not talking fast enough.
Well, thank you for your report,
Thank you very
Commissioner
much.
Taylor. I appreciate it. Do we have any unfinished business? Any new business? I'm going to adjourn the meeting.